And yet another breakdown on Organic Dope. UFC on Fox 4, Shogun versus Vera. We got Shogun Hua 20-6 versus Brandon Vera 12-5. Hua turned down Glover Teixeira to take this fight.
I don't know. That says, I don't know. Brandon Vera should even be in this position.
Wasn't Brandon Vera kicked out of the UFC for losing?
Yeah, he was.
He was cut.
I think he was signed
and they
back
brought him
for
back
this fight.
for this fight as a main event.
Is this a gift wrap win for Shogun? I mean,
I'm going to go ahead and say right now that I think that the co-main event is the main event because I like that fight better.
I like the Travis Brown-Ben Rothwell fight.
Well, yeah, that's a good fight too.
I mean, honestly, because Brandon Vera, all you've seen him do is lose.
I think Brandon Vera's going to get fucked up.
He is, but I mean,
he's a tough dude. He's tough. Like after he broke his arm in that fight and still won the decision, you know the guy's tough, but he's not tougher than Shogun. There's no way he finishes Shogun.
But
there's
why
no fucking way.
couldn't they find someone to fight Shogun other than someone that was cut from the UFC?
I don't get it.
You know, I mean,
he wanted a big name fight. I think
Brandon Vera should be fighting Gustafsson. He should be fighting Teixeira. You know, I mean, that's the kind of fight Brandon Vera should be fighting.
I'm not sure.
You know, I mean, it should. You know,
it's Shogun's fight to lose.
Does that look bad for Shogun? Does it look bad for him?
If he loses,
for turning
he
down
wanted a higher caliber opponent. You know,
he didn't want, because this is the thing I think, because if he loses to Teixeira, then he's probably going to have his pay renegotiated when he gets his contract.
But if he loses to Brandon Vera, what does that say about him?
He's not going to lose to Brandon Vera.
Yeah, he's not.
But what if though?
How?
There's no what if.
How does Brandon Vera beat Shogun? Tell me.
Anyway,
if Shogun comes in the ring and falls and hits his head or something,
it can happen. He catches him with a punch.
No,
throws a kick and just catches him in the right spot.
You're not catching Shogun with a punch to knock him out. That dude's so fucking tough.
It's a fight.
Wait a minute.
Did you see his face after the Henderson fight? Jesus Christ.
Did you see his face?
See him after
John Jones?
Well, he tapped his strikes.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's John Jones.
He broke his orbital bone.
Look what Brandon Vera did with John Jones. Brandon Vera is not fucking up Shogun.
Let me ask you
this.
Bank
on that shit.
You're not picking Brandon Vera,
I'm not. No, I'm not whatsoever. I'm
you
just saying.
You were getting me scared for a second.
No, I'm just saying.
Like it's a crazy pick again.
No, not at all. Not at all. No,
I'm going for the crazy main event pick.
No way. Like I said, Brandon Vera doesn't belong in this fight. My point is, though, if by God's grace,
it can't happen.
If there is,
name one thing that Brandon Vera is better at. Muay Thai, nothing.
But still, the point is, anything can happen. Anything can still happen. It's a fight.
This isn't NFL. Anything can happen.
Put that aside. I'm just saying though, if he does lose, what does that say for Shogun? What does it say for him?
No, anything.
Then he would have got his ass kicked by Glover Teixeira.
Okay, and what does it say about the fact that he turned down that fight to take this fight against somebody who wasn't even in the UFC?
He didn't want. He's a high caliber guy. He didn't want to. It's like BJ Penn shouldn't have taken.
But is Brandon Vera that much of a name? He was cut.
He's a bigger name that gives him something.
It's
to win.
not a main event though.
It was a good choice by Shogun.
I personally feel at this point Teixeira's a bigger name than Brandon Vera.
They should have been able to find someone else to fight Shogun rather than Brandon Vera. They should have put like Gustafsson against Vera or Shogun, somebody higher up on the rankings. You know, not somebody that's cut from the UFC and throw him in the main event.
That's what I'm saying. Brandon Vera just
Shogun by fucking TKO at the latest second round.
Oh, latest. It should be a first. If it's not a first round knockout for him or a first round finish, just first round anything. It's not.
It's a payday for Brandon Vera, and maybe couple. He might end up getting another fight. You never know.
He might die.
Yeah, he just might. I mean,
he might die. Didn't you say that on the last? Didn't you say someone was going to die last time?
Could have been Chael Sonnen. I thought maybe if Anderson was losing, that Anderson just kill him.
Yeah, that's right. Just grab
I swear you said someone was going to die last time.
He said if Anderson Silva was losing, he'd probably just kill Chael Sonnen. He would just after it was over, he would do something to kill him.
Got to be something in the contract to not get him in trouble for that.
Speaking of almost dying, I don't want to get too far off the subject, but Roger Huerta almost got killed by a soccer.
Yes, he did. I saw that soccer kick. That soccer kick was disgusting.
Search it on YouTube. Roger Huerta soccer kick. Before they take it down again, it's horrible.
And people would say that you can't, it's good that they don't have that, right, in the UFC. Do you really think that him taking that kick was worse than Munoz taking 14 like he did to the face?
No.
It's probably better, right? One kick, done, call it.
I will
14
say that
shots.
The guy probably could have been
Still,
called
though.
out. Huerta probably could have been called out before the kick, though.
Oh yeah, he was
was
lining
like,
up the kick.
He was
like a field goal.
He was like wandering around on the mat, like he didn't know where he was.
I was waiting for the ref to go put his finger on top of his head. You know, hike. We got Ryan Bader and Lyoto Machida.
Good fight.
I'm a big
fight.
Machida fan.
I am too, and I'm a big Ryan Bader hater.
Ryan Bader, Ryan Bader should be fighting Phil Davis, probably.
Yeah,
that'd be a good fight for
maybe
Ryan
Brandon Vera. They do.
I really
There
think
you
they're
go.
trying to save challengers for John Jones. They're trying to make sure that anybody that's a potential challenger doesn't lose.
Yeah, they want to make
soon.
sure Lyoto Machida
they're
wins.
like, oh,
they want to make sure Shogun wins.
They want to make sure Gustafsson wins. They want to make sure Teixeira. Well, maybe Teixeira could lose, but
yeah, it's a money thing. But you also got Jones isn't in his prime. They're building him up, so no matter how long they wait, Jones is just going to get better.
If Jones beats Dan Henderson, there's
Jones
nobody
is
left.
24 years old.
He has to have contenders. Next thing you know, they're going to
Daniel
be
Cormier. Bader's just outclassed in this fight, man.
I agree.
Yeah,
he's not going to take Machida down, and he's the wrestler guy.
Machida's got great takedown defense.
He's not going to control the fight.
He's got better striking. I mean,
Machida showed his
he's
takedown
quicker.
defense.
I mean, where does Bader have an advantage? Wrestling, and
he's just not going to get close enough to him to fuck him up.
Machida's
Lyoto
super evasive.
Lyoto showed his takedown defense against John Jones, I thought.
No, I think Lyoto gets the finish, too.
Lyoto wins.
By what, though? Do you think it's going to be by...
And once again, I think this should be the main event.
TKO knockout.
I think Bader Machida is bigger than Shogun Vera.
I'm going to say submission. I'm going to say Ryan Bader.
It's more relevant
Absolutely.
in the title picture.
I'm going to say Ryan Bader shoots for the takedown and Machida catches him in a guillotine and puts him out.
Not going to happen.
My whole thing is with
sorry.
Ryan Bader and Machida is Ryan Bader knows he has no chance whatsoever in a stand-up game. No chance. Because Machida will destroy him. So he's going to be shooting for a takedown, and Machida's going to know that, so when he shoots for a takedown, he's going to catch him.
He's not going to get caught in the guillotine.
Why not?
Rashad couldn't get Machida down, could he?
Rashad got caught.
I don't think
Bader's not going to get close to getting him
He's going
down
to shoot for it, and he's going to catch him in it, because he's what he's going to keep shooting for.
Bader's going to lose for sure.
Though. Yeah,
I
Bader's
agree.
getting whooped.
TKO, though. Or KO.
I'm going to say a submission. Throw it out of it.
I can't call that the
different.
lock. I can't even tell, because Shogun's so... They're all locks.
The lock is Shogun in a TKO or a KO. That's the lock. And a finish. And it's hard to say KO because half the KOs they count as TKOs. So you might as well say
Yeah, I hate when they
It's hard to call a KO, though.
I hate when they count a TKO as a KO or vice versa when they count it wrong.
Yeah.
I did too. When clearly it's like a knockout. They hit a guy, and he's falling to the ground out cold, and the guy rushed in and throws two more punches, and he stops him, and they call him a
Weidman
TKO.
was totally a KO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
they
didn't
counted
see
a
it,
TKO.
Yeah.
Totally a KO. That guy was knocked out from the elbow.
He might have got
falling
knocked
down.
back into consciousness.
Yeah, I hate that. It's like clearly he was out cold.
That would look like a murder scene. He looked like he was trying to kill him. I mean, there's just blood just like
He looked fucking
slowly
good.
just like splattering out from underneath his head. Bigger. It looked horrible.
Travis Brown, Ben Rothwell.
I'm going Travis Brown. I'm a fan of his, and
He's undefeated.
he whooped up on Griggs the last time.
He is undefeated, and I picked Griggs last time because I thought he did good in strike force, but man, he looked small next to Travis Brown.
He's big,
Travis
man,
Brown-
6'7".
And he's quick.
He's pretty agile.
He's athletic overall, and he's got power.
I did like how Ben Rothwell looked last time. He looked
He
fitter.
did
He
look
looked
good.
better.
He looked a lot more
But
cut.
I'm going with Travis Brown until he loses. I'm just going to keep picking him until he loses.
Rothwell's got some power, too.
13-0-1
See
for a
that?
reason.
It's hard to
Travis
finish
Brown.
Rothwell. Though.
Yeah, he's got heart, and he's
It
always
is.
coming back. Was that...
With the fight that he
ain't been finished even
was
by
it-
Cain Velasquez.
Was it Pat Barry?
Or no, he did
Not
get
Pat
finished
Barry,
by.
but
Did he get finished by Cain Velasquez? I think he got TKO'd, but he didn't get KO'd. I'm not saying that he should that TKO wasn't a legitimate call because it should have been a TKO. I'm just saying he wasn't out when he was fighting Cain.
Right.
He was still conscious.
Well,
It was still a good call.
I think Travis Brown wins.
so do I.
Yeah, Travis Brown's going to win. That's who I'm picking. I'm going to keep picking him until he loses at least. I think at this point you got to pick the guy that's undefeated, right?
I do. I mean, especially a guy. It's
Most of the time.
Yeah.
6'7", agile, quick.
Unless they're both undefeated.
Yeah, and then somebody's always got to go, like Boss Rutan says.
Joe
I love
Lauzon,
Boston.
21-7.
Cool.
Joe Lauzon, 21-7 versus Jamie Varner, 20-6. Never been a big Varner fan. Of course, I bet against him last time, and he kicked some ass and looked really good.
I know, me too. I bet against him.
You know, I actually said I wanted to pick Jamie Varner last time against Edson
Barboza.
And
didn't.
And I didn't. I picked Edson Barboza.
And he's on a 3-fight win streak.
And now I'm going to pick Jamie Varner.
How long ago was that fight? Was a Varner a fill-in also or something?
It was a fill-in.
Wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long ago.
I was say it couldn't have been more than like a month or so.
He was a replacement fight for somebody, for Edson Barboza. But here's the key, I think, and I mentioned this last time when I was saying I kind of wanted to pick Varner. He is Ben Henderson's training partner, and he's better for it. He's a better fighter for it. So I'm picking Varner again. He could lose. Lauzon's good at submissions, but I'm picking Varner.
Lauzon's a really smart fighter. He did lose his last fight to Pettis. That head kick knocked him the fuck out.
Pettis is dynamic, though. I mean, he does some dynamic stuff.
Pettis is good,
tough. I just think Lauzon can outsmart him.
Chances.
I need to see some more from him still.
I think Lauzon's a little more technical and should be able to use that to his advantage. Personally,
I'm going to go with Joe Lauzon, but I really want to take Varner. I really do, just because.
Maybe you guys will be saying that next time. Hopefully, you know. Be like, I really said I wanted to pick Varner, but I didn't.
I don't want to. I'm going to pick Lauzon. I want to, and I'm going to do it.
Picking Varner, and I feel confident this time about Varner. This gold makes you feel confident. I've noticed that. Man. What is that?
It's Rob over there.
Gold.
Yeah. Maybe it's that weight you lost too. You're just feeling good overall. You're like, I'm feeling a little less weight.
Just the shininess of it.
We got Cole Miller, 18-6. Nam Phan, 17-10. Nam Phan's actually a lot more decorated, even though the record doesn't show it.
I like Nam Phan. Every fight I've seen him in so far, which are mostly against Leonard Garcia, I guess.
Right. I was impressed by him there.
It was good fights. Even when he was on The Ultimate Fighter, he had good fights.
I really like Cole Miller, though, even though he lost his last fight.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Cole Miller. Is that Dan Miller's brother? Isn't that what
no, they're not brothers. Dan Miller and Jim Miller are brothers.
That Jim Miller, that's what it was. Okay.
Jim Miller's better, too.
Yeah.
I'm picking Nam Phan primarily because I just like the way he fights, but I still think he's going to win. I think he's good enough to
I think Miller wins.
Yeah, Miller as well.
He's taller, lankier, uses his reach well, and he's tough, man.
He does have good reach.
He's tough. Phil Davis, Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful.
I think he's going to go. Phil Davis.
Yeah. Here's my question. How do you go from fighting for the #1 contendership for the light heavyweight championship to fighting on the Fuel TV preliminary card?
By getting your ass fucking beat silly by Rashad.
Rashad was that good, you know. I mean, he
went
5 rounds with Jones when no one else
did. It showed
did.
that he wasn't, I think is what they say.
I think, if I'm looking at
this card... I think it showed Phil Davis needs some more experience. How old is Phil Davis? 24, 25? He's pretty young.
Phil Davis on the card over Joe Lauzon and Jamie Varner, I think. If he can get a better opponent, you know.
Anyway. Maybe 8-0. Martin Prado, you may not know. Maybe Wagner Prado's
Hey, you know, Phil, how about
Prado comes out of Team Nogueira.
I'm going to play a little Joel Silva right here. Phil Davis versus Shogun instead of Brandon Vera.
There you go.
Main event. There you go.
I'm down.
There you go.
Throw Brandon Vera
and then suddenly he's on the main card. And there, it's a fair fight. There we go.
All right, and Vera versus Prado.
Of course, on the other hand, Shogun wins anyway. But
I'm going with Wagner Prado.
Really?
I'm going against you guys.
I'm picking Davis. He's a dominant wrestler. Doesn't have a whole lot else, but
I mean, he has 9-1, and obviously his only losses.
He's got an awesome name,
though. So,
Mr. Wonderful, awesome name.
Mr. Wonderful.
He looks like
Arsenio Hall. I might have to change that nickname
too.
After this.
He
does look a little like him.
Rashad pointed that out, and
Mr. Wonderful.
Totally looks
who
like
was that in wrestling?
Paul Orndorff back in the 80s. Yeah. Now you're showing my age. Yeah, I remember the 80s.
I was also thinking Mr. Perfect. That's right.
Mr. Perfect is dead.
Yeah,
he's on my machine over there.
Oh, the video game?
I love that machine over there. Every time I see it.
You can probably get some money on eBay on that.
Fuck, I wish. If anybody wants it, it's for sale.
WrestleFest.
Real expensive.
Throw it on eBay.
Arcade.
See what happens.
There's actually only 40 of those boxes made with that little neck underneath it. Yeah, there's only 40 of them.
It's got the Ultimate Warrior on it too.
More than half the guys are dead.
Isn't that your profile
that's
picture?
True.
Oh, you changed it.
You don't have to put quarters in it.
I changed it
to that Batman.
Yeah, Batman comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or today or something.
We got, is it Rob Broughton?
Rob Broughton.
15-7 versus Matt Mitrione.
How's Matt Mitrione end up on a preliminary?
He lost his last fight.
Yeah, he lost to Congo. It was a close fight, though. He's quick for his size, too, Mitrione.
Yeah,
got pretty good power. He used to play football.
I think he's underrated.
He's got awesome personality, too, man. His
nickname's Meathead, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But he's always smiling, man, even during his fights and shit.
I'm picking Meathead, probably by decision. But.
Yeah. Mitrione as well.
Yeah, me too.
Meathead, Mitrione.
I don't know enough about Broughton to pick how, but I would think Mitrione could probably get the finish, man. He's tough. He hits hard. Broughton's only 15-7, and I don't know him, so he hasn't fought too many awesome people, I wouldn't think. We got Phil DeFries, too, who I don't know much about.
Ole Thompson.
Versus Ole Thompson, who's a strongest man guy.
I mean, he has 9-3 though. So I mean,
DeFries is coming off a loss.
Ole Thompson don't have any fights in the UFC yet, right?
I thought you said DeFries' first loss was his only loss.
Well, he's only got one, so if he's coming off a loss, then it's his last loss.
I just thought you said it was his first loss.
No,
Maybe
I think you're
else.
thinking of somebody that was
Mitch
16-1. Ryan Jimmo.
Okay, that's right.
I'm picking DeFries.
Me too.
I am too.
I'm
and,
not big on World's Strongest Men that have fought in the MMA.
Yeah.
Seen some guys.
DeMarquez Johnson, 16-10 versus Mike Swick, 14-4. Actually, I was actually surprised by his record when I looked it up.
I am too.
I thought I've seen him lose more than that.
DeMarquez Johnson's Ultimate Fighter finalist that lost in the finale, I believe.
6-10 though. It's kind of a.
Yeah, and he's got some losses.
He's got a lot of. From what I remember, he's good at jiu-jitsu. He's like big on the ground game.
It's the most losses I've seen from somebody in a while.
Yeah, well, that could play into his favor against Swick.
Let's talk about Mike Swick, though. Mike Swick was Ultimate Fighter 1. Ultimate Fighter 1. I mean, think about all the people that were on Ultimate Fighter 1 that are gone now, that have retired. That are
Griffin and Bonner?
Bonner's about to retire. Griffin looks like crap. Griffin
Chuck and Randy are both
retired.
Lieben on that, or was he the second one?
Lieben was on it, and
Diego Sanchez?
He lost against Munoz last.
Kenny Florian?
Diego Santos is not nearly as good. Kenny Florian's retired.
Shit, that was like 6, 7.
Costa's still doing pretty decent, though he lost his last fight.
Yeah, but he's still up there. He was young then.
But, I mean, really, almost everybody's retired or whatever. Tito Ortiz was not on that just to refreeze that. It was Randy Couture and
first Ultimate Fighter was like...
It was like 2005, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're talking, a long time ago.
7
Mike
years.
Swick has been gone for a while. I mean, he may not be that old, but he's got
I remember,
years on him. He's in years in the business and not a lot of activity.
I remember Mike Swick, though, in the first, I don't know what this really means or not, but in the first UFC game they ever released, he had like the 4th highest rating on the game.
Oh, I love playing with Mike Swick in the first game.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously...
he's a great striker in the first game.
Yeah, I mean, they don't make him... a 90 for no reason. I mean, the guy can't be a bum.
He's fast as fuck.
Well, 4 years ago.
He was very quick.
It was 3 years ago in 2009.
Yeah.
He was much higher rated than he is now. I mean, he was considered a top contender.
Yeah. He dropped weight a couple times, didn't he, or just once?
He started at 185, I believe, and now he's at 170.
I guess it's 170.
Yeah, 170.
I think he wins. I'm going to go with Swick.
I'm picking DeMarquez Johnson.
I got Swick.
Picking DeMarquez Johnson. I think... like most of the people in Ultimate Fighter 1, Mike Swick is past his prime.
Rob, is that our first difference? Run your card down. Shogun.
Machida.
Brown. You got Varner, don't you?
Varner, yeah.
Okay, and you got Phan too. Phil Davis.
Mitrione.
Freeze. Swick.
And I got Johnson.
Okay, so you got a couple different. Never mind.
Yep. Enough to keep this belt.
We'll see about that.
Probably not.
What about Josh Grisby and Rania Yaha? Josh Grisby, Rania Yaha.
It doesn't matter because he's going to lose. I'm picking Grisby.
I got Grisby. He's only got 3 losses, 14-3. That's a solid.
Well, you
record.
see how many.
But his last 2 were losses.
You see how many losses in the UFC Yaya has?
3 of his last 4. I don't know how many back he goes into the UFC.
So it's a battle of the UFC losers.
Hey, man, but he lost to Benavidez and Mendez. I mean, aren't those 2 of the top 3 guys?
It is, but he's still going to lose.
Well, fuck. I'm taking Ronnie Yaya. Yeah.
Well,
Ronnie
I'm glad I'm not taking whatever the hell his name is because
Grisby.
I don't want to try to pronounce that.
Grisby.
Grisby's much easier to pronounce.
What about
Josh Grisby?
Yeah, Josh Grisby. It's nice and easy, you know.
Yeah, it's not Yaha.
You know, you don't have to be Bruce Buffer to pronounce it.
Manny Manville Gambirian. You know what's
his name?
His real name's Manville.
Manville? I didn't know that.
I just call him.
I know he's
Manvel.
He's either cousins or a nephew of
Manvel.
Carl Parisian.
Carl Parisian, yeah.
Cousins.
Carl Parisian.
Big
he loves
judo.
the psychedelics.
Big into judo. He was a finalist.
You know that's what he got suspended for the last time.
I didn't know that.
Was for psychedelics.
Really?
I didn't know that. I thought it was steroids.
No, it was psychedelics.
How do you even get tested for that?
I don't know. He tested positive for psychedelics and then had that whole mental breakdown and like.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I want to hear you pronounce this other guy's name. Go ahead.
Michihiro Omagawa.
That's good. Good job.
He showed good job, didn't he?
Good job.
I had to get that right. I'm gonna pick him.
Manny Gambirian was a finalist in the Ultimate Fighter. He fought Nate Diaz and lost, which is now shaming that at this point.
I mean,
yeah, but in that fight, didn't he knock himself out, taking him down or something? He slammed him down.
Rib, I think he tried to take him down.
That's right, but it was something weird.
Yeah, but he did good. I think he fought Jose Aldo in WC.
Did. And he didn't do too bad, I guess, considering.
Yeah. Makes me feel better about taking old Manny.
He lost to Tyson Griffin and Diego Nunez.
But he's in a better weight class now, right? That was at 155 he lost, right?
Yeah, at UFC, they didn't have that division.
What weight is this one?
Probably 135, I think.
Yeah.
I like the 135 fights.
I'm picking Manny Gambirian. Manny Gambirian.
Michihiro
Omagawa.
Who are you picking?
Michihiro Omagawa.
I know who you're picking.
Gambirian.
We got a lot of different picks on this one.
Manny Gambirian.
That's the fight. UFC on Fox 4, Shogun versus Vera, August 4th.